Don't you know how hard vacation time is to come across?
I'm just taking a weekend.
Just a weekend. But it's out of town. It's going to be recharging. Where are you going again?
Los Angeles.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. Are you going to go to the beach?
Huh?
You going to go to the beach or stay in the city?
Fun fact. Actually, unpopular opinion. Beach garbage.
Okay, first of all. That's a very unpopular opinion.
I just want to...
In LA?
The things that popular about the beach in LA aren't the beach. I don't like the actual beach. I don't get the vibe, y'all. I don't get the vibe. What's the vibe?
Wait. Okay, well.
Like, I just sand everywhere. You sand everywhere. Sand everywhere. The water dumb cold, never warm.
Only out here.
Hella people.
On the Pacific.
Hella people.
Well,
And the beach be dirty. I don't get the hype.
You got to go to some better beaches. See, on the East Coast, the water is also warm. The ocean, it's warmer on the East Coast. The East Coast beaches, like Florida, up in, what's it called? Massachusetts? Is that where the Hamptons are? Or Hamptons might be in New York. I don't know. But I know, you know. Well, the East Coast beaches are warm. And then there's also like the tropical beaches, like, you know, in the Netherlands or the Caribbean.
I would say this, like, I think Hawaii beaches might be worth the hype, but...
Yeah, well, depending on the ones you go to. Yeah. Because I went to Hawaii.
Yeah.
And the beach in, like, Honolulu... It was different. It wasn't trash. Like, you know, to me, water is beautiful regardless. But it was just very lived in by unhoused people. And the sand felt very shallow. Almost like people are always walking through it. There's no time to manicure it. And there was a lot of trash and litter around it.
See, that's the thing for me. I hate when the beach is ugly.
Yeah, but up north, if you go up to North Shore, there's like beach. There's one of the beaches from Jurassic Park that we went to. It's beautiful and clean, and everybody respects it. So
everybody respects it.
Yeah, not saying people don't on Honolulu's beach, but it just was not as well kept, and you know, it's a city beach, so probably harder to do, more trafficked, more.
I don't know.
Visitors.
I will say, I'm not going to say all beaches are trash, but I will say LA Beach, hikey kind of garbage, bro.
Okay, that's fair. What about Huntington Beach? It's like a little, it's still in LA.
I've probably been there and don't know what it's called.
Probably.
Like Monterey Beach, kind of, it's really, really cold.
Oh yeah, it's cold there, yeah.
Like Monterey Beach is like, it's a beach, but like, it's not the beach environment. It's going to freeze to death.
Yeah, have you been to Mexico? Got a fear of being kidnapped?
I just seen too much stuff. See, this is the problem. This is where I'm like a boomer. Mm-hmm. I just seen too much news about people going to Mexico. I'm just like, bro, I don't know if I'm gonna take a chance.
It's not worth the risk.
I didn't see the video of the two guys getting pulled up by the cartel.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It's serious.
I didn't saw the video of Shaquela get murdered. I didn't see like people getting robbed and kidnapped.
Yeah.
I not see it, but I hear the stories. And I'm like, I don't know.
A lot going on over there.
Like, I don't know if it's worth it. Like, is it really like? I mean, I want to go to like the tourist places, you know? Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, like those people with guns right there. They might protect me.
Go on a cruise.
A cruise?
Yeah. That way you can. It's just a stop. They're expecting you back. They will if you don't get back on time, but I've seen TikToks.
That would help me though.
I've seen TikToks of people recording last call people running back to the ship, or like, you know, at the very last minute making it back.
I'm saying like that wouldn't help me because they're gonna expect me back, but if I don't come back, they're like, oh, he just out there effing around with a Mexican hooker or something.
He'll figure it out.
Yeah, and then I'm dead.
All my stuff's on the ship.
Yeah, I'm kidnapped from my family. Sorry, nothing against Mexico because I've seen My friend was in Mexico and they said I had a good time.
Yeah, I've been to Mexico twice and I enjoyed it. Wait, twice or once? Hold on. Once. I've been once. But it was on a cruise. I would like to go back. I think it does count, but I'd like to go back and experience other parts of it more in the city, but it is a reality that it is very dangerous. You know, some of my students who are from Mexico talk about how dangerous it is there. You know, how like, you know, media is not exaggerating, especially with like cases of femicide. You know, women just being killed because they're women and, you know, dressed in a particular way or going against, you know, social norms. Not to get too heavy or anything, but
it's not about getting heavy. Well, guys, welcome to the Special Friends Podcast. It's your boy Wuzi. We're here with my girl Allie B.
You told me, you said this week we're gonna take it lighter. We're gonna go a little lighter this
week. It's all right.
Week.
The world has something different for us because the first topic I gotta address the first topic. But before we get into all that, first off, everybody who watched the last episode, appreciate all the comments. It went up. Did you see the comments?
I haven't seen all of the comments.
There's some good comments. Some thought-provoking people watched it.
I would pull them up right now.
Pull them up.
Let's see.
Live reading of the comments.
I
tried to reply. I think the only person I didn't reply to was Shokia. Listen, Shokia.
Is that my sorority sister?
I did not reply only because I didn't have time. I did not want to neglect you. I appreciate your opinion.
Oh my gosh. Make sure you get back to her. I will get back to you too, show. Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I'm glad she watched. But also, can we talk about how many people were clowning you about your knees?
No.
Okay.
The knees are, look at the knees, guys.
Apologies.
Look.
But we got it together this time. I didn't notice last time.
We don't have to worry. Mom.
Cousin.
Gucci. Y'all see it. You don't have to worry about it no more. But she didn't tell me this time again, guys. I had to catch it myself.
You had to tell me. I didn't know that was something I need to check for, but next time I'll be better, y'all.
Well, you don't have to check, but kind of like when you see somebody across their mouth, you're like, oh,
we have
got a little booger.
Yeah. If it's something you can fix in 30 seconds, then it's best etiquette to let the person know. If flies down, let them know. Got something in your teeth, let them know.
I ain't gonna lie. I am the type of person. If I see lipstick in the teeth, I won't say anything.
You should.
I always feel embarrassing.
It's something you can easily fix with the tongue.
Yeah. I thought. I guess
go get a napkin. You know, but let a lady know.
I always feel weird, like, dang, all in my mouth. But
okay,
welcome
back.
Allie's gonna go through some comments. What are you doing?
Yeah, I got some.
Which one stand out?
I got some. Okay, so let's see. The Kindred Hour. Ooh, this one's long, but can I read it?
If you want, go ahead.
I think in also considering factors of non-heterosexual sexualities and relationships and the factor of honesty, were men honest when the statistic was developed? Okay. Are women only having sex with men to develop this statistic? Could women be having sex with other women to feel sexually to feel satisfied sexually and emotionally? Are men having sex with other men and not disclosing it? There could be many layers to the statistic that could have been left out. Totally agree. I agree with Professor B with a lot of things spoke about, but especially regarding women trying to understand themselves, their identity, and failing to recognize their worth outside of their sexuality and approval of men. Heck yeah. I feel like we often call this a hoe phase, but it's really a lost phase. Yes.
Okay.
Lost phase. I would give all the snaps to that, particularly.
To give context, guys, if you guys didn't watch the last episode, we talked about relationships. And if you haven't watched it, I would say go watch that to get the full information. But she's reading comments from that video. We asked people to talk about our takes, and I think that was a pretty good. I read that one. I was like, I think that's a pretty. I'm glad that like. That's somebody who really processed the information.
And I feel like my argument was very clear, which I'm glad for. I feel like you should read Shokia since you didn't get to get back to it.
Oh, I read hers.
What did it say?
I'll read it again.
And tell me what you
Listen,
think.
Shokia, I'm so sorry. I liked it for you though. I'm so sorry. She said that statistic about women being more promiscuous than men now seems really skewed to me. I agree with Ali in that the promiscuity is likely getting different needs met for multiple partners because of lack of being able to find it all in one. I also agree with Wuzi that there's a lot of men who don't see the need to commit and marry, which I think perpetuates the cycle of what we're seeing women do now. So,
what do you think?
Shokia, I agree with you. I agree with you on all levels. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm glad you acknowledged that it comes from a lack of being able to find it all in one. And I actually saw a TikTok about that, and I want to get your opinion while we're on here. While we're here,
Okay.
While we're here, let's might as well take the ship and go with it. If y'all watching, make sure you like,
subscribe, comment,
notification bells, all that stuff. But I saw a video, and the lady in the video, she was talking about how sometimes we can try to find a catch-all in our significant other, and she feels like, oh no, take it back. It was Steve Harvey's show. A woman came on the show. Was it Steve Harvey's show? I don't know what show. It was a show. The woman stood up to speak. She said her husband only wants to do the same things. He's vanilla. He goes to the same restaurant. He does the same thing. He eats lunch at the same time. He wakes up at the same time. He's just like vanilla. She told this to the dude, and the dude responded saying that we sometimes want to catch all as far as our significant other. Like they want them to be our best friend and like be adventurous and be all the different things. And he was saying that why don't we try to find, like, why don't we recognize our partner for who they are and kind of find those things in other people? Like, if you like trying new restaurants and your partner's not the type of person who likes to go to new restaurants, why don't you just go to new restaurants with your friend who likes to go to restaurants? And then in that, come back and tell him how good the restaurant is, and he'll be more likely to go to that new restaurant with you than I haven't went, you haven't went, let's go.
Well, I think but I think it depends on like a matter of compatibility. Mm-hmm. Like if she's always wanted adventure, and like this wife in the video, she's always wanted like her husband to not be vanilla and be more Neapolitan, if you will. You know, I like Neapolitan. Best of everything, all satisfaction. You see what we're saying? You see?
I won't get into it.
Some people like vanilla, and that's fine. But you need to know that. And if you don't know that you like Neapolitan and you marry vanilla, you can't be mad that he's vanilla.
It's like, but I will say,
so I think it's partly that you can be flexible, but I'm also saying like sometimes it's also an incompatibility thing. But it's on the person to kind of have to navigate
if you got
that.
married though, right? Like, I mean, I guess you can get married to somebody you're incompatible with, but
people do it all the time.
Yeah, I will say, because he made a good point. He said, so she was complaining about her husband being like vanilla, basically like doing the same thing all the time and like kind of being super structured. Mm-hmm. And he was like, well, would you like it if your man was like every new thing he was like jumping on, you know, like every shiny new thing he wants to try a new hobby and try new things consistently? She was like, oh no. She's like, so it's like there's benefit in the vanilla.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you gotta choose what you want. Like, do you want the guy who's every time like he comes home, I quit my job and I got a new one. We're gonna see what happens.
Well, again, that's compatibility.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
100%, like
some people are like, it's cool, I quit mine too. Like you're on the same frequency.
Van life.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's sell our cars, buy a van.
Yeah.
Live,
don't need an apartment.
You know, be entrepreneurs. Odd jobs. We can also do DoorDash. You know, Postmates or whatever.
I couldn't do it.
You know?
Do that?
No.
feel like I have to do van life with money. I can't do van life.
Yeah,
broke.
exactly. I could do van life with money, but I couldn't do it struggling. I wouldn't really want to.
Like doing van life right now is wild to me. Like
It needs to have a shower too, a shower, and it needs to have a bathroom within the van. You know, for those who are able to like make van life work with public restrooms or like gym showers, I give them all the kudos.
I
But
can do the gym shower,
no, I need my own space.
but the shower. Well, you need an RV then,
Yeah.
because the I've seen people do van life and they have the shower, but it's not what I thought the shower. I was like looking it up, like van life shower. Let's see what it looks like. It's literally the worst thing ever. It's actually kind of scary.
I've seen a couple of like fold out showers or like showers on doors, on like van doors, and then you just pull the curtain around.
You're okay with your ankles being out in the world?
Yes.
That's wild. I cannot do that. That's crazy. I'd rather be in a gym shower. I'm so sorry. I cannot do that. What? Am I missing? What did I miss? I'm sorry, bro.
I'm trying to understand like your ankles being out in the world being a point of contention for you because they're still out in a gym shower. So
well, no, he's not in the world though. There's four walls.
Is it the natural air hitting your ankles, or
it's the fact that someone can literally pull the curtain back and now I'm exposed.
And I guess in a gym shower, you don't have that same risk. At the gym I go to, the same risk applies.
It's a co-ed bathroom?
It's a no, not the showers.
I'm talking about. Like I don't like the idea.
But they
that,
are accessible in that way where you could. It doesn't, even if it wasn't co-ed.
Oh yeah, I get it. Like I mean, even technically, mine's like someone open the door and be like, hey. You know, we see scary movies, but it's just something about like I'm in the parking lot,
showering.
my ankles are out, I'm nude, and the only thing keeping me from not being like. The only thing that's keeping me sacred is the shower curtain. That's probably not that heavy.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm against that. I can't.
Yeah.
Do that. I can't do. I'd rather have the RV and just have the little box shower. But at least I know like you gotta get in here first. Like you can't. You gotta get in. You gotta get past. Anyway, I don't know where I'm just, shout to van lifers. Any van lifers out there? Send me your stories. I really want to see them.
Yeah,
I love
same.
van life. But what are we talking about? Oh, Shakia. I agree with you. Was she also the one who said about the people lying? Or was that the kindred spirits?
About people lying. Hold on.
The kindred hour. That some people were lying that the statistic might be skewed.
Well, yeah, that was kindred hour. But Shokia was talking about how she agrees that there are a lot of men who don't see the need to commit, and that perpetuates the cycle of promiscuity in women. I think yeah, that's what Shokia said.
How do you feel about that?
I agree. Okay. I think I do agree, but it's weird because yeah, I think I got that right, show. It's weird because I feel like men, like, they don't want to commit, but they do want marriage. Like, or they want, like, the thing is, they don't want that until like they know themselves or they feel like some sense of like peace and stability within themselves. And even then, it's not guaranteed that they're going to want to be with just one person, because I've found that even men with a lot of money and stability still like their options. So yeah, I would agree. Actually, I would agree that it does perpetuate the issue, and men don't seem to take any accountability for that, in my opinion. But what do you think?
No accountability for it. I'm just kidding. No, but
those could be strong words.
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't know how I feel about it, because I do agree that it perpetuates. It's definitely a circle, because if I'm dating someone, but I won't commit to them, I'm leaving them to be seeking that commitment, or finding some form of security in other means, which would mean if I have multiple niggas, if he dropped me, I still got Sean over here. It's like one of those weird things, like what came first, the chicken or the egg? I feel like they just both exist.
Yeah.
It's a constant cycle because it's like
I think it starts with men. I mean, just the relationship of how women have been empowered with sex as it relates to our position in the world, and also as it relates to navigating power in spaces that are dominated by men. Like, men have really created this. When you think about, like, one of the history classes I took, where we talked about the, origin story of the U.S., pilgrims coming over. Well, originally, men, like European men, were here. Mm-hmm. A bunch of men, settlers, here to till the land, get the country on a solid foundation. And do you know what? Men couldn't fucking do it. They couldn't do it. Sorry, pardon my French, but they couldn't do it alone. So what did they do? They hired tobacco brides. These are women who were orphans, women who were widows, or divorced, women who were essentially unwanted women, sent over to Europe to basically be of service to these men who needed to get on track, needed to get these fields together. So they lent their hands and also their bodies. Very, very sexual relationships. In fact, these were more business arranged marriages. Side chicks, if you will. I don't know if these men I think the men that were going over there were single men, but you get what I mean. Like, just in the foundation of how women have been used to help or propel men's motivation to do in the world or to do for society, y'all created that. That was y'all's idea. Women didn't bring themselves over here to be like, let's get the men together.
No, me. I'm not European.
I'm not throwing it on you, but you just,
Why you saying y'all like that? Hold on. I don't like that y'all. I'm not European.
You're right.
I'm not European.
I stand corrected.
I'm Afro.
You're like, I didn't come over here the same way. Okay?
And
we didn't.
Yeah, no.
But, I mean,
No, I get what you.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just trying to be funny.
Yeah. Anyway, no, I'm sorry. I'm getting all serious and everything.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I'm not gonna say men didn't start it because that's why I'm not gonna. Obviously, it was a man rule world before equality came. So
yeah.
I gotta be. I'm not gonna be like
King Henry VIII creating divorce for options in marriage, not even just dating. He couldn't have just been out here dating. No, he had to get married, have kids, kill his wives. Eventually stop killing his wives.
He's like, why do I keep killing? Why don't I just divorce?
Why don't I just create divorce? Anyway, I digress. I think Shoki is onto something, but
no, I'm not saying she's wrong. I definitely agree. I know.
I
just
hear
know
you.
It's man. I'm conflicted because I'm like, I definitely agree. I don't even know what I'm conflicted about. Quick question: what am I conflicted about?
Is it offensive to feel that?
I ain't doing it.
To feel that blame, not you, but in terms of
that men are doing it.
That it's
a
male-generated issue.
Oh, I talk about all the time. I always tell my friends, like, I remember I was in high school and my friends roasted me because I said, man, you just a man whore, bro. Because dude kept calling himself a player. I said, man, you just a man whore, bro. I remember we got back and forth. He's like, let's just stop, bro. Stop calling me a man. I don't know. I said I feel like people misuse the word player, and they just be man whore. Like, you just sleeping with any woman, you a man whore. I feel like a player has some game, and I don't know. Maybe I gotta learn what a player is more.
Yeah, I feel like they're pretty interchangeably used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I feel like a man whore. At least the way I think about it is like their only goal is to get. You know what? Mm-hmm. And then I feel like a player, it's just a game.
Like with emotions and sex?
Because I don't want to misrepresent players. Because I don't know what they do.
Them?
I don't know how they work. I don't know they work. But I would imagine that a player doesn't go around
You PR for players out here?
Hey, I'm just not trying to. Not trying to be. Listen, I'm not trying to poop on nobody because I don't know. It's not my lifestyle to be like telling you how you live. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I mean, I hear you. I guess shout out to the players and even lady players, because I guess that was the other thing I wanted to say is like
girls are players too.
That's my jam too. Shout out to Coy Leray. But I also think there's just been a lot more sexual liberation. So I would also say it's not just like men, you know, not wanting to be in committed relationships or marriage, because I think our understanding of relationships or definitions of them have expanded too. They're not just heteronormative. They're all sorts of types of relationships. And so people are having sex in different ways, more openly than before. So I would just think that the number of promiscuity would go up naturally just from that. It's just like sex is a lot more acceptable. It's more open, and it's open across genders. It's not even just like a heteronormative act anymore as an accepted norm. And I'm not saying that there aren't still a lot of, you know, I guess attitudes that are not in favor of that. But I feel like society's starting to lean more into at least acceptance, you know, maybe even some understanding. So yeah, that statistic has to be more complex.
Yeah, I definitely believe that all statistics are skewed because they're all only used to prove a certain point.
Yeah.
And they always you have to remove the nuance to prove your point, really, because the nuance just destroys anything.
Yeah.
So I agree with the statistic is probably skewed for sure to prove a specific point. Not to mention you're going out searching for the answer to a specific point. Mm-hmm. And somebody like, yeah, Shokia, we're going to have to bring you on. We're going to talk about this.
Oh, yeah.
You know her. We're going to have to have a conversation.
Yeah.
I need to pick your brain.
Be on here. I feel like
I need
she'd
to
love
pick
to
your
be
brain. I need to figure out, because I feel like there's something missing and I can't put my finger on it. Something missing. I need more context. But guys, we got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
I don't say we got a bunch of things, but we got some things.
Some things, yeah.
But first things first, Pearl, I take my shout out back. I don't fuck with you. Second of all, sorry anybody listening, I'm sorry I cussed in your face, but we do have to talk about something a little serious because a young boy by the name of Ralph Yarl, fly name, 16 years old, he got shot Thursday, April 14th in Kansas City, Missouri. When he was sent to pick up his little brother, he went to the wrong address, knocked on the door, and the man opened the door, shot him in the head, told him, don't come back around here, and then shot him in the arm. And then he had to run to 4 different houses until someone could help him. And now he just recently got out the hospital. He's back at home. But recent testimony, his mom said all he does is sits there and just cries now. She just said he sits there quiet with tears streaming down his face. And I'm sorry to get heavy, but we have to, first things first, prayers to the family, big prayers to the family, because I can't even imagine what they're going through. From when I read that he was like one of those, you know, super duper smart black kids who weren't in the streets. So for it to happen to him, I'm pretty sure is very conflicting. But you know,
for it to happen to anybody, right?
Exactly right. And that's when I just wanted to kind of talk, really just get your thoughts on like this, like, you know, how do you feel really?
I mean, yeah, it's horrible. I feel like every day I wake up, look at YouTube, and I see like new news reportings of some sort of gun violence or some sort of, you know, human on human violence. And I don't know, this week I did start to feel a little like not bogged down by it, but just like overwhelmed by how much, especially shootings, it seems that are happening. But for all of that said, I also feel like with this case, I'm grateful he survived. I'm sad that he's been traumatized, but you know, I don't know. For me, it's kind of like the fact that he survived, the fact that there's going to be justice, the fact that, you know, we have community medicine and law now that a crime like that, which I would equate to something of the likes of, well, I guess I can't say Emmett Till because that was a law enforcement interaction. But I'm sure there's plenty of names we could pull from the South of people who were just lynched. You know what I mean? And lost their life that way, not from guns, but there was no medicine to save those lives. There were no doctors necessarily to save those lives, no laws in place to get justice, and definitely not a strong enough community in place to fight against, you know, the atrocities. So for me, it's like a bittersweet thing where it's like to see the same thing be perpetuated is frustrating and it's discouraging at times. But also I try to see the silver lining that we are, for the little bit of progress that's made each time, you know, more justice is served. And I'm grateful for that. I don't know. I try to lean into gratitude of the small wins, you know, because it's a big ass war. Little battles that make up a big war.
Yeah. I think the tough part with news like this, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the biggest person who watches news channels at all. But with something like this, it's hard to. You really couldn't get away from it, especially being a black man. Like I don't shy away from hearing news like this because it's important to remember my position in the world, and not in a bad way. Well, it is in a bad way because it's not good. But yeah, I just there's always a silver lining. The situation is tragic, but it helps. It's sad that it has to happen. Well, it shouldn't have to happen. What I'm trying to say is that situations like this help swat down those ignorant arguments that people say like, oh, if he wasn't a gangbanger, if he wasn't this, that, whatever, this wouldn't have happened to him. And you guys can look it up, but they were saying he was a high academic student. He got accepted into accepted into like a program when you had to have high level of intelligence and academics. So it's just like, and he was still a victim of the things we see with other people, with all black men and black people in general. So it's just like, I would never say I'm happy, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, so what are y'all saying now? Because like this happened to this person, you know? That was the biggest thing they used against Trayvon Martin. Well, look at his Facebook. Look at the things he did. You know, look at blah, blah. But it's like, okay, well, what's your truth with this person now? Because this kid was didn't have anything like that at all. Like,
yeah,
you know, we joked around, you know, like you might even consider him a square based on what he liked. And it's like he was literally picking up his brother, knocked on the wrong door, and that almost cost him his life because according to the guy, he looked like he was trying to yank on the door, but it's like really just because you saw a black person and you have this idea of what they might be doing. You know, 86-year-old white man shot him in the head. So yeah, it's like I said, it's one of those things where you're like, the word tired is the first one that comes to mind, where it's like, it's like, man, like, I don't want to say I want to be past it, but it's like, man, like this is still happening.
Yeah.
You know, like my grandma tells me stories of when she was a kid and, you know, a lot of the trauma that she's faced, and like some of the stories that I hear, I've never experienced, but some of the stories I hear are not too far from that.
Yeah.
And that's wild because my grandma's 80 years old. So it's like things like that where it's kind of like hard to stay positive. But I will say I wanted to bring it up. And before I leave it, I don't know if you have any thoughts you want to talk about. But
well, I'm looking up right now the last lynching in California. Because yeah, it was in 2020, where 2 men were found hanging. So, you know, just here in California. So I hear you in just that, like, it is exhausting to hear that the same crimes from the past are being committed today, and even more atrocious ones, like a young boy just living his natural regular life, just being a threat living his life, you know.
Literally.
That's exhausting. No one should have to live like that. We shouldn't have to live like that at all. So yeah, I feel that. And yeah, I'm not, I guess, like, I want to say I'm not happy, but I have to do my part of maintaining my mental health. And part of that is I don't actively read these cases.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know about it until you told me.
Yeah.
And partly that's because I've been caught up in a lot of like the school shooting news, which is for me a lot. It's very sensitive because of where I work.
Exactly.
Even though this is sensitive because of who I am too. But it's a lot if you're taking in school shootings and then also our people dying. And then sexual assault stuff happening. It's a lot as you just kind of choose.
Yeah. And that's why it's hard to, that's why I stay away from the news, because it is very sensationalized and will have you out here like basically kind of scared to walk down the street for the most part.
Yeah.
But that's why I wanted to, you know, I will say to, before I get off of this, like, go look. He has a GoFundMe. If you can, do what you can do, you know. And I just wanted to bring awareness to it, to let people know that, you know, people will always try to tell, especially as Black people, they always try to tell, you guys are tripping, like things have changed. Things have not changed as much as people like to assume, and that's why I act accordingly. Yeah, I wanted to talk about Sharona Drake. She was on Revolt Black News, and it kind of goes with this issue because people were saying that she's raising her kids softly, and she had pushback about that because she had a good point, and I'll explain her point. And I want to hear your thoughts on it. She basically was saying, like, the world that we live in, you know, a young Black man, in general, Black men go out into the world, and it is almost like a war. You know, like, you know, everybody's looking at you with some kind of discontent or something negative about you. So she fights against people saying that she's soft with her boys, because she's like, if there's no peace in them in the world, like,
It should be peaceful here at home.
yeah, it should be peace at home. And that's important, because if you go out into the world and it's not peaceful, and then you come home, it's also not peaceful, like, you know, what does that look like? And I kind of wanted to get your idea on that. Like, how do you feel about that logic? Because I remember me and you did talk about kids being softer. So this is something to your point.
Yeah, I think it's important for kids to be able to be kids. And part of that is being soft, it's being tender, it's being playful, it's being worry-free, you know? So yeah, I think that it's important. And I feel like, especially as a mom, for many moms, I feel like it probably comes more naturally, you know, as part of the nurturing energy that is a woman. So yeah, I'm with that. I feel like I would align with that, you know, as an aspiring mom. And it's kind of unfortunate that I think Black men in particular, or Black people, can't always find that tenderness anywhere that they go, that, like, you know, our counterparts are met with often.
Yeah. And I remember because, like, when I thought about it, especially when she's talking about, you know, when you hear the word soft, you're thinking like some people attest that to like letting them slide. She said, "Oh no, we don't let them. I'm not letting them slide." But, you know, she's trying to instill leadership, you know, skills and things like that in him. But, you know, that doesn't mean you can't say I love you, you know?
Yeah, well, because hard doesn't mean you can fight.
We know a bunch of hard girls who can't fight. Well, not we, but I'm pretty sure we all know that girl was hard and got beat up a couple times.
Or is hard and can fight, but, like, you know, I feel like, you know, but the emotion is like the real.
Can't win.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Like, you can make a lot of money and be successful in the world, but are you happy though?
Yeah, it's like, if it. in a world where it's so hostile. It would be, yeah, I'm losing my thought, to be honest.
She's honestly,
I'm trying to like draw the connection, but I don't know. I have a hard time blaming the world for being so cruel, or like being angry at the world for being so cruel, when to me it's people, it's lost people, and it's just society always working every day to be better.
yeah.
So I try not to get down on it and be angry, because like I feel like we're all doing the best we can.
Yeah. And I don't think and I hope I didn't give it off that way. I'm not trying to I wasn't trying to like beat down society. It was more just,
No.
I think it was more trying to promote what she's doing. Like, I think it is important to, even as adults, like, create that safe space at home, like, no matter who you are, but specifically, especially if you're a black person or any kind of minority, because, you know, you do go out and you're going to face, you could be walking down the street and you might get hit with a racial slur. You know, you might walk, you know, how many times I walked in a Target, you know, you get followed, stuff like that, you know, and then like, you think it doesn't affect you, but you know, if you go home and home is not peaceful, all that stuff just sits on you. So
Yeah.
I do think it's important to be soft, you know, like my mom was a I love you kind of mom.
Yeah.
You know, my grandma was a give you kisses kind of grandma, you know, give me a hug, what are you doing type of grandma. And I think at the time you take it for granted, but as I got older, like there's a lot of people my same age, grew up in the same generation, and their family was not the I love you type. And then, you know, they go about the world with a little bit more, they're a little bit more jaded about the world and don't see the beauty in a lot of people, you know.
Or they're less affectionate.
Yeah, well, like, definitely that. Like, definitely less affectionate, but also just less, you know, can't see the joy in the world, you know? Like, I'm not saying I'm the most joyous person. You know, I face my own depression, but anytime most people see me, I'm almost laughing almost all the time, which is my problem. But don't take anything serious. But it's why would I take everything serious, you know? The world's already serious enough.
Yeah.
So, you know, hug your people, man.
Yeah.
Be soft.
Be soft. And I also would say too, like, I think peace comes from within too. So if you can create a safe space at home for people to be able to access that, you know, that's the most important. I feel like the most important thing when it comes to living in such a chaotic and at times cruel world. You know, if you can just be able to access your own inner peace amidst all that chaos, you know, you really find empowerment. And I feel like you're able to reclaim your joy that way.
And that's the key word she said. You need to come home and recharge.
You know, find your inner peace. And I don't know, I think it's important to live vigilantly, but not in fear.
Oh, no.
You know?
Don't be like grandma.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, love on your people, but be vigilant too, because it's dangerous out there.
Yeah, the stuff is real, but you know, it's different having a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
on to some lighter stuff, guys.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about something that was pretty interesting. I was reading a book called Made to Stick, and it's a pretty good book. It's a marketing book. I'm a nerd. I like reading books like that, marketing books. And in the book, there's a section talk about burying the lead. It's a thing that journalists know more about. I'm not a journalist, but basically burying the lead is when you kind of get caught up in the minutia and you lose the point of what you're trying to say. And he was also talking about how people who are like more intellectual and like the nuance of things, they get lost. Like they appreciate the nuances, so they'll express, you know, they'll share those, but then their point gets lost. And I kind of just wanted to talk to you about that. Like, do you feel, as a communications, you know, professor, like, what do you think about the idea that you can get, like, some people can love the nuances so much that they want to share that, and their ultimate, like, you know, the whole idea of what they're trying to express is lost? Like, do you think it's true or whatnot?
Yeah, I definitely think it's true. We're talking about like in the context of like trying to share a message, or just like in general like, experiencing life?
I'll say both.
Okay. Because I could think of like
if I'm trying to share a story with you, but I expressed all the nuances of the story, you'd be like, well, what are you telling me the story about? why are you telling me the story?
Telling me the story?
Like, where's the lesson now?
Well, it's like when people ask me like, oh, so what made you become a professor? Mm-hmm. And I tell you about how I like my schedule, but then I get into how I have all this grading, all this prep to do. And I start telling you about the most recent prep I started on, the last lecture. And then I start getting into all the assignments we're working on right now, and totally get off of the question of what made me become a professor. Exactly. Kind of like that.
Or even like if you're telling me that you're a professor, but then it's like a major point might be because my grandma was a teacher. But instead you nuanced off like, well, my grandma, when I was growing up, she used to take me to her house all, kind of like, granted, sometimes those anecdotes are needed, especially like, but like, the point is like, oh, my grandma was an educator and this is why, but some people get caught. Yeah. I remember she used to work long hours and I used to be waiting for her all the time. It's like, some.
Yeah. It's like, how does that relate to you wanting to become a teacher? Exactly.
Like it might relate to you on an emotional level. And like some people might like the nuance, like, oh, see, like, you used to love it so much. You used to wait for her. That's how much, like you used to love her lessons. But it's like, you could have just told me that your grandma was a teacher. And I would have got
all of that. I would have got all of that.
Yeah. I would have got a lot of it.
Yeah. So, but also I think that happens in like life too. Like I remember when I was first teaching, I would feel very overwhelmed by needing to respond to emails and then again prepare lectures and grade. Just have to do all this stuff. And I would forget why I even chose this career, that it was, I've arrived at exactly the place that I've, been waiting to arrive at. Yeah. And here I am here and I'm complaining instead of seeing the big picture, appreciating the big picture.
I'm here and I'm complaining about gas prices. Dang, I just wasted so much gas to get here. I can't believe I wasted all this gas. You're in LA. But think about it. I spent $140 in gas to get here. Like, what? You're here though.
But you made it. Yeah. Are you ready to have fun? Like, yeah.
And I kind of attributed that to like the curse of knowledge because, I know myself. I love the nitty gritty. I love the details. Like I read research papers. Like,
yeah.
Like the nasty research papers. The one that are like, it's a paper, but it's two bars on it. So you read the left side and then you read the right side. And then you go to the next page. Like I read those ones.
Are you looking at peer review articles? Wow, for fun?
I mean, I just love them. I read one about parasocial relationships. It was actually pretty good.
I wish my students would share the same enthusiasm. But that's awesome.
Well, some people, I just like the nitty gritty details.
Yeah,
I'm the type of person that I will see the resources and go,
let me read those. Yeah. Ooh, okay. You should go to grad school. That's all grad school is. Okay. Yeah, you did say that.
So educated. Sorry. Anyways. But yeah, like I'm because of like I don't know. I love comprehending and like understanding like, reading the test and things like that, learning about the nitty-gritty details behind major ideas. But because I love it so much, I forget to understand that a lot of people do not.
Well, it's really like Adam and Eve. I mean,
do not sharing it.
Biting the apple, with all of the knowledge that you need and don't really need. And like, once you have access to it, it's really no going back. But imagine how life was before they had all that knowledge, when they could just enjoy life. You know what I mean? When the bigger picture was the only picture.
Before why?
Before why? Before what is this? Apple. Instead of it, delicious.
Yeah. Why is this apple red?
Yeah.
What makes it red?
Yeah. I guess there is a bit of a curse to knowledge. So.
Oh, definitely a curse to knowledge. I don't know. Shout to knowledge.
But I love knowledge. Like, I don't know. It's hard for me to, like, let those words fall out of my mouth. Like, it feels betraying of my, my work. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's
but I hear you.
Thing.
Yeah.
Even, like, if you're, so example, like, you're a communications teacher. Obviously, your job is to teach it.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure you can easily get lost in like the terms and things like that
yes,
to understand things, and then talk to somebody and they're looking at you like, what are you talking about?
I'm kind of with you, but kind of not.
Yeah, like you know, they talk about that all the time. It's a book I have on the shelf somewhere.
Oh, you have
it's called
green.
Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. He talks about that, like the benefit of like someone who's an amateur teaching something versus someone who's a professional, been in their career for 10 years teaching something, is that the gap between me and that person I'm teaching is not that far. Mm-hmm. So I can remember what it's like to be there. But when you've been in your career for 10 years, you can't remember what it's like to not know. You've known so long, like.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. That's what happened in my previous job too. Like my trainer, she just knew so much. She was so, well informed and knowledgeable, but she just could not teach it at a level of entry.
Yeah.
She just, the way she explained it was way too advanced. But,
Yeah, you can't tell somebody, you need to create a pivot table and then do this and do that. And then I was like, well, first of all, what's a pivot table?
Yeah, what does this equation even mean as it relates to the reports we're formulating here?
Yeah. Why would I use a VLOOKUP, or why would I use an index function over a VLOOKUP? Like, they're both the same thing. It's like, well, did they do different things? Like, why? I don't know.
So, yeah.
Shout out to the Curse of Knowledge.
I'll have to check that out.
I just thought that would be really cool. Like, as a teacher, just wanted to, before we get off, I want to ask you, like, how do you overcome that as a teacher? Like, especially because your job is to teach it.
Yeah.
How do you overcome knowing all the depth of it all, knowing the word that can simplify it, and having to break down that word? Like, today, guys, we're going to learn about insert complex word here.
Honestly, it's an ongoing process. There are some concepts I have it down now where I feel like I can explain it concisely and originally. But today, for example, we did a lecture on digital design for PowerPoint slides. And I know so much about slide design, and I'm so passionate because when I first started college, I was a graphic design major, so it just, I love crafting, and I got lost in like, color theory, color psychology, and then design templates, and then animations, and then best practices. And then let's show you how you can take this information and restructure it into like these 3 different visual ways. Like it was great and thorough, but I at the end knew it was information overload. And I asked my students, I was like, so you got any suggestions on like where this was already like information you knew, or like, so anyway, like I said, it's an ongoing process. And I don't know, I often ask my students when I start to feel like I'm missing the mark, where I might move to get closer to it. But self-reflection and self-awareness is honestly the best approach for me too. It's both and both.
Huh?
Shout out to being a teacher. Yeah. Was that like a long-winded response? I'm sorry about that.
No, it wasn't. I'm the one who talk long. Whatever, feel like you talk long. I talk forever.
I'm working on brevity.
I'm like, there's a video of Miley Cyrus on Joe Rogan's podcast, and she can ramble talk like to me it's a skill. I could see like, man, I wish I could talk like that. But I do talk like that. Like I have to sometimes like do what I'm doing right now, like think about myself, take a breath. Because if not, I can keep going and going and going and going and keep going like, and like this is like, it's like my brain is trying to vomit all the information, and my brain's like processing words faster than I can think of. I'm just like,
slow down.
Relax.
Yeah.
People are trying to listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're trying to understand the idea and not understand why you're just like dumping all this information hella quick. But that's an issue that I run into all the time.
Yeah.
But
relatable.
What do you want to talk about?
Let's hop
into
a couple
of topics.
R&B. Why not? Let's see. Oh.
Basically, we were just talking about. We talked about it before, like, kind of tied into like. Before we get to R&B, I do want to. Me and Mrs. B wanted to talk about how like
Professor B. It's okay. No, Mrs. is just. It's a married name.
Professor B. Me and Professor B. We kind of wanted to talk about like, kind of tied it into what we just talked about earlier about how things have changed. The way we grew up was very different.
Yeah.
Not me and you, but the way me and y'all might have grown up is different. Like people growing up today, you know, I got a brother who's 14, another one is 13, and then I got a brother who's also like 9. So they're growing up in a different way and generation. Kind of jealous, but you know, then I grew up and you know, I think you said you have a brother as well who's young.
Yeah, my brother's a teenager too.
Yeah, so it's
yeah.
Kind of wanted to talk about that. Like, you know, it's weird to say, but you know, how was your upbringing, LEB?
My upbringing. Well, certainly the curse of knowledge was not a thing. I feel like that's what this new generation gets the blessing of. It's just having access to so much information. I feel like growing up for me, for the most part, I played a lot. Like I said in our last episode, I was a pretty competitive and athletic kid too. Although I also gave up. Like I played soccer. I think maybe age 3, 4, 6. I don't know. I was a young kid, and I got kicked in the face. Not kicked in the face, but a ball was kicked in my face, smack in the face. I can still remember the pain of it. Like my nose was numb, my eyes were all numb. Anyway, I quit. So I wasn't necessarily like an overly confident child. You get what I'm saying? But like, I like to play. I like to be competitive a little bit. I like to win, and I like to spend quality time with my family. But the other thing was I was always well behaved. Like I was always kind of doing what I was told. You know, whether that was chores or it was being quiet or going to play outside. You know, I was just always doing what I was told. So for me, I don't know, growing up was it was not like my parents were super strict.
No.
I just was a very obedient kid. And my siblings were also very, I don't know, they were very independent. Like we were all kind of rambunctious in our own right. But I
mean, every kid, right?
Yeah, every kid, you know. But I definitely was the snitch of my siblings, like sadly. You know, so yeah.
You know who not to do crimes with.
But if I saw my siblings getting in trouble, I was like, I don't want that life. Like I don't want to get in trouble. I don't. So I don't know. I don't know if this is answering your question as to how I was brought up, but
yeah, I mean, I just wanted to know, like, you know, because I can agree to a good chunk of it. The only thing is I wasn't a snitch, but I definitely.
But I wasn't a snitch for long.
The fact that you were a snitch at all is crazy. Like my mom nipped that in the buds. Literally, all my family. We all know that. Black people know this so well. Oh, you snitch, you're getting in trouble too, because we don't support snitching. I went through that where it's like, if you snitch, you're also getting in trouble because you put to stand by your brother and your sister and you snitching on them. So it was like, you're just as much in trouble. So now you're like conflicted.
You know what? My parents would get on us about telling on each other, but I just, like I said, I had a profound fear of getting in trouble. And so what it was like, you or me. You know, and if I knew it was going to come out, normally I wouldn't insert myself unless it was obvious that something had happened.
We were like, you ever seen them videos where it's like they had people in separate rooms? That's how it was when we got in trouble. It's like,
oh,
Najar already told on you, so you might as well just cough it up. He told me what you did. It's like, I ain't do nothing. I don't know what you talking about. Same thing. They already snitched on you, Najar. They ain't snitching, Mike. I didn't do nothing. How they gonna snitch on something I didn't do?
My parents would put all 3 of us in a room and they would tell us we can't come out until we admitted who did it.
I think I feel like I've been through. I feel like that there's like a remnant of that situation probably happened to me. But I don't think we folded.
Like one time, I think of these jelly beans that my mom had out on the kitchen in the apartment. Yeah. And I had a couple. I had a couple. But we were all me and my siblings, I think we were all eating them. But one of them got a little handsy and ate a lot. So
people don't understand the trick. If there's a snack like that, you just gotta get like 5.
You know, the thing is, like, if I was wrong, I always own my stuff.
Yeah.
So that's for me as a kid why I would take issue with like getting in trouble for other people's stuff, is because normally I feel like I did the right thing. You know,
Yeah.
I will own my stuff if I didn't do the right thing, if I got on timeout. But if other people are doing bad stuff and there's no repercussions, I felt like it was unjust and unfair, which is, I know, a problematic
Well,
thing.
the question. Oh, I guess.
I don't feel that way
Let me
anymore.
ask you: have you ever gotten in trouble? Has somebody ever gotten in trouble for you?
No.
You stepped in and was like, "Oh, so no one's ever got in trouble for you."
No. No.
I've definitely been there where I didn't do it. And I know who did it, and I'm like, damn, I'm the one in trouble.
Yeah, no. I would have way too much guilt. I would own up to it. If my siblings can think of a time that I'm forgetting, but I'm pretty sure I'm like
For me, it was like we all did it, but there was only proof that I did it. We all were a part of it, but I'm the one who got caught. I'm not finna be like, well, they was doing it too. I was more like, damn.
I just didn't think like that or really move like that. I did some sketch things as a kid.
That's some sketch things.
I did do some sketch things as a kid, but most of that stuff I ended up getting caught doing, you know, with my sibling, or else like I would eventually admit to later on down the line.
Out.
No, I never snuck out. Yeah.
Something I wish I did.
No, I have no regrets about that one. I never went to any parties either as like a teenager. I did drink underage once. And I don't recommend that. But people are going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say wait till you're 21. It's overrated.
I waited till I was 21 for sure. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say definitely my childhood was, I definitely want to say it's soft because I was always in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I was never a bad kid. I was just, and that was the thing. Man, I'm sorry, Mom. I was just always in trouble for something stupid. At least I felt like it was something stupid. Like I would be like this. It would be like this. Jar, I told you to clean your room, and I came in and your room wasn't clean. To my liking. Like, you look at music. It's stuff everywhere, but it ain't nothing on the floor, right? That's not, to my mom, that's not enough. Stuff has to have a place. And if things don't have a place, now you're in trouble. And it's like, and it didn't stick, Mom. That's the problem. It'd be different if I learned the lesson, like, oh, you know, I was just such a messy kid, and like, I'm so glad she instilled that in me. It didn't stick. It didn't stick. So I was in trouble for stuff that just wasn't. I'm like, man, like,
This is just who I am.
listen, I know I could put the blocks back inside the cupboard thing, but that's a half-built castle right there. I just moved it to the side. I'm still trying to figure out the doorway situation.
I'm still working on it.
like, why would I put it all the way back and then have to figure out how to build it again? Like, come on, what are we saying? But that's the type of stuff I would get in trouble with, stuff like that, or like get in trouble for stuff like misunderstanding. Like, yeah, you can go over to your friend's house, and I go over there and spend the night, and then come back. Like, who said you could spend the night? You said I could go over. Like, what you mean? I thought that was inferred.
No.
I thought that was inferred. Like, you know, every time I go over there, I spend the night. I've never went over there and not spent the night. So like, yeah, you go to your friend's house, cool. And then I'm getting called at 10 o'clock at night. Where you at? Who will bring you back? I brought clothes. I thought I was spending the night. Okay, you gonna spend the night, but you in trouble when you get back. Live it up, y'all. I'm about to get in trouble when I get back to the crib.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty little. That's pretty. But that was petty of you to be.
I was.
How old were you?
At that time? Spending the night? I was probably like 10.
Okay, I get them, but I don't know. At 10, I feel like I would know between can I stay the night versus can I go over to my friend's house.
I guess for me, it was like every time I went over, I spent the night. It wasn't like I went over there, hung out, and came home. Mm-hmm. Never did that. I went over there, spent the night.
You weren't kind of like sneaky. I feel like I would, if I was thinking like that, which I would have had the capability of about 10.
Like being sneaky? Like being manipulative?
Just kind of be like, I want to stay the night, but I'm afraid to ask. So I'm just going to ask if I can go over and, you know, basically kind of chalk it up to a miscommunication.
I'm gonna say it like that. I'm gonna tell you the story, and I think this story would tell you how slow I was, because I was a slow child, very underdeveloped. Me and my aunt went to the grocery store. I think we went to Foods Co. In Foods Co. At this time, this is when kids like dumb stuff. Like, I wanted a bottle of lemon, just to squirt in my mouth, and I wanted a ring pop. Like, that's just all I wanted. Like, those two things. No, my life, a baby bottle pop, the little one that you dipped in the powder. Those are the two things that I wanted. To ask my aunt, she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna buy it for you. Just, whatever." So in my head, I'm like, my aunt gonna buy this stuff for me. Don't recognize that you have to put, like, I have it in my hand. Don't ever put it on the belt. So I just have it. She knows that I have it. She said she's gonna pay for it. I'm not realizing that you have to scan items to charge them. So I have the items. Now we walking out of the store with the items in my hand. And she's talking about, "Where'd you get that?" "You bought them." "I didn't buy them. He didn't scan them. You stole?" "No, I didn't steal. You bought them." "I'm finna tell that you stole." "I didn't steal. You bought them." "I didn't buy them. I didn't scan them." That's me. That's really me not understanding. Like, I thought you bought them. Like, I thought that the fact you said I'm gonna buy them, that's all I needed. Like, okay,
That's not slow. That's being 10.
Slow, because, bro, they didn't scan. Like, when I think back, I'm like, bro, they didn't scan out. You put them on the belt.
Yeah, but as a kid, you think like your parents maybe got an extra one to scan or something. Like, usually they just figure it out sometimes. So
that, like I say, exactly. But that's literally me. Like, now I believe that I'm stealing. She told she would call the police on me. I'm crying.
No.
I'm crying. "Oh, I'm gonna go to jail." For some reason, you think petty thievery gonna send you to jail. I'm gonna go to jail. It's a wrap for me. I'm gonna have a record. Bro, this is me. This is the same guy who.
At 10.
This is why my mom's like, "Yeah, can I go to my friend's house?" "Yeah, bet." I'm spending the night. But anyways, yeah. My mom was not very strict. I just got in trouble for dumb stuff. But I feel like my brothers get away with murder, and I feel like my sister gets away with murder too. And do you feel like parents are soft now?
You know what? That's hard. Okay. Let's see.
Or I should say, parents in your life, do you feel like they got soft?
Yeah, even my mom, because like my mom still, she's like, parenting doesn't quit when your kids become adults. Like, there's still like this adult phase of parenting, when I think that she's become a lot more tender with me over time. I think she understands me better now, and partly because I'm more like developed as a person. I know myself also. But what was the question?
The question was, do you feel like your parents or the people in your
Softer.
life are more softer than they were when you were growing up?
Yeah, my mom, she like, when I was a kid, I was very emotional, and I just feel like I was often told that I was too emotional, not necessarily by my mom, but just like sometimes my grandparents, my dad definitely.
Were you a crybaby?
Yes, to an extent. Yeah, I was definitely a crybaby, but like I didn't know how to one, I didn't understand my feelings, and I didn't have people around me to help me understand my feelings necessarily. And two, like my feelings would be exhausting to people. So, but now my mom understands me better. I also am more in control of my feelings, so she doesn't have to carry that. But, she listens, and that's more of what I need from her. I don't need somebody telling me what to do or reminding me to clean my room or, reminding me to pay my bills. I don't need that right now.
That's the worst.
I remember
mom asked me that not too long ago. Did you pay your rent? 25. You asked me did I pay my? How did I get here?
It's unless I'm calling, you should trust things are good.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's like I asked him, like, that's such a random thing. What do you mean did I pay my rent?
Yeah,
But-
seeing if you're able to if you're keeping it up. I don't
I'm
know.
out here living on the edge.
My mom says like parents never stop really worrying, so they worry about all the big to frivolous things. So yeah, but I do think that parents are more tender, to answer your question. Mine are. Even my dad.
My mama, you so soft, bro.
Well, you said your siblings get away with murder. I can't say the same for my siblings. My brother definitely has, I think, a more, I don't know, like emotionally evolved version of my dad to an extent.
I just don't understand why y'all so understanding now.
That's what it is. It's emotional evolution.
I get it. You should have been more understanding, but like, no, I don't want you to be more understanding because he didn't take the trash out.
What do you want him to get yelled at?
Yes. Because he was on the game.
I do remember those days.
I remember, listen, I didn't even they get, Hermione. Me? If I didn't take out the trash the first time, bam! You know, take out the trash? I forgot. Oh, you forget, huh? I will get something you ain't gonna never forget.
Oh, no.
Like, that's what I got. For forgetting to take out the trash on a random Wednesday. Like, this is what I have to deal with. Now they're getting I told you to take out the trash. I understand that you're busy, you're playing the game, but you understand? What do you mean? I don't want no understanding anymore. I want you to max him out. Like, what's going on here? That is sick. This is what I'm sorry. That's why I'm like, dang, like it sucks.
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't suck. I think it's better.
I guess like hard time I used to give my parents was like I was kind of sassy. It's more my mouth. And my brother is not sassy, but he is witty and he's quick to come back in ways that faster than me.
Yeah.
Ways he be getting me.
Yeah.
And he gets away with it with my dad. But I guess that's playful. It's like, but
What'd you say?
When I was a kid, I know I couldn't make jokes about my dad. My dad was so sensitive.
That's what I'm saying, like my mom. Don't get me wrong, I do it now. I joke around, but like when my generation, you couldn't say mom's first name ever.
Your mom's first name? Why? Oh, to her. Yeah, you're right.
Like it wasn't even. You couldn't even joke about that.
Yeah.
Now, my sister. Wendy. Why? Granted, she's also like, she's not that much younger than me. Wendy, tripping. What are you saying? Why are you like this? Me? Man, that's immediately getting maxed out.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna try that on my sister. I'm gonna try using my dad's first name on her.
Oh, please.
That's hilarious.
That's the thing. Like stuff like that, like, and granted, like, I do feel like I don't fully understand the whole like respect thing on it. Like I understand like you're a kid being a kid's place, put auntie on my name when you say it. My name is Uncle Jardy. Don't call me Jardy. My name's Uncle Jardy. Put uncle on my name when you say it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if you call me Jardy, like, what you want me to say? You want me to get upset? Like, oh my God, you disrespecting me. I can't believe you see me as your equal. Like, what? But that's how my brain's wired though. Like, no, put uncle on my name when you say it. I'm not you. I'm not your friend. I'm your uncle. Whatever. I don't know. I just feel like kids get away with murder nowadays. And I only speak for my little brothers, and they get away with murder. I had a secret girlfriend. My little brother had 2 girlfriends at once. My mom told me. I said, so hold on, wait. This man's 12. What are we saying? What are we saying? He's so cold with it.
2?
They know about each other. Yes. I'll never, man, listen, tell you the story. I'm sorry, I'm sorry I'm supposed to, but I gotta tell the story. This man told me, he called me randomly one day. Jardy, my girlfriend broke up with me. Why? Because I told her that I liked her and her cousin, and I couldn't choose which one I liked more, and I wanted to know if they both wanted to date me. Genuine conversation he's saying to me. I'm just like, What was it? A smart move, bro? I don't think that was a smart move. I come back to him later. He dating both of them. It worked.
No.
How it worked, I don't know.
I was gonna say it's the honesty, because he was honest and he meant what he said.
I heard that and I said, man, I don't got Riz. He got Riz. I don't know. I don't know if I don't think it will ever work in my generation. But my mama knew about that situation. She knew about it for me. I couldn't even tell her. She said, "Mom, you hear about your brother? Your brother got multiple girlfriends. You know." I thought it was between me and him. You know, and he's not grounded. He don't have to break up with her. Now he don't got to fake the relationship. Like, oh no, we not together, but when he at school, you know, my mom be tripping.
None of that. That was a time. That was an era, though. I do remember that.
Do you remember the era of texting your girlfriend from your mom's phone?
No, because I remember my phone being taken at a certain hour and sneaking down to get my phone so that I could text my boyfriend or call him. So only rare that after a certain point that my phone would actually be taken away at nighttime. But when I first got a device, like 7th grade, 8th grade, they didn't let me have it too late.
That makes sense.
But
I just remember not being broke and not having a phone, but my mom had a phone.
But
and still trying to have a girlfriend. It's like, I'm gonna give you my mama number, but don't only text me when I text you. Don't ever text it first. I'm gonna text you first. That's crazy. That's it, man.
Yeah, now my brother has a whole new ass iPhone.
FaceTiming all the time.
Yeah, man.
Like, bruh, it's literally 12 o'clock. Why are you on there on FaceTime?
My brother is so cool. That's the other thing. Like, they're softer and cooler these days. You know, I'm jealous. But also, I'm more myself now because there's more space to be that. You know, more.
Yeah, I don't know. I will say that I don't think the kids are just, or I don't feel like this younger generation is as creative, and not creative as a sense of like.
You mean original?
No, like, as in like doing more with less. I feel like they have more, so they can do more. Like obviously, like now you'll meet like a 14-year-old who's like a DJ pro. Because there's so many tools that allow him to be a DJ already, but like there's like they're not the person who's like I could only be a DJ with Mama Records,
yeah,
and like you know like the bare minimum. Like now you have so much available to you, you could be whatever.
Yeah,
but I don't feel like they have that same that what we had where it's like if I want to listen to music, I have to get creative.
It's because there's
we're
more
sharing
access.
iPods.
I think more access is a good thing. Increased access to being able to do those things. I think it is a good thing, but it's a blend of like a lot of original stuff out there now and a lot of stuff that's, you know, remixed, if you will.
Like it makes you sort of more susceptible
to plagiarism, or
when you finally have have you ever seen a kid who doesn't have like my brother gets his phone taken away? The most miserable child I've ever seen in my life. Don't even know what to do with his life.
It'd be a thrill for me.
That's what I'm saying.
Take my
like,
phone.
When I was a kid,
but don't steal it. But
the best thing that ever happened was like, I'm taking your TV. You're grounded.
I got books.
Dang, I forgot about these toys. Like, I'm in a whole nother world. Mm-hmm. Little brothers, give me your phone.
I saw this TikTok of this person was talking about how kids, their neighbors' kids were playing outside, but they didn't. He was like, I don't think kids know what to do. I don't think they know how to play outside anymore. And one of the kids was like kicking air. The other one was like bending down at the bush, just kind of looking at it like, I guess I'll take a look at this bush. They all look so confused. They weren't playing with each other. Yeah. You know what I mean? They were just like taking in the outside. Like
there's no more LARPing out there. Like you never been out there.
None of that.
Making the fake scenario up. Like why?
They weren't doing any of that. No tag.
Yeah. Man, tag was trash.
I used to love playing tag. Freeze tag.
Every time I get it, it's a wrap for me. The game's over. The game's over. I'm never being untagged.
Oh, really?
Unless I catch somebody slacking.
Were you kind of like a slow runner? So you were fast? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, listen, you could be chunky and fit and fast.
Yeah, I mean, like I played football. But I was lazy. It's like, oh, I don't want to run that far. Like, you far, bro. So I'm gonna walk to you, and then when I get kind of close, hit the little. That's when you gotta do. You hit him with a little burst, like get kind of close and then go.
Hit him with it.
Yeah, like you're kind of walking up, you like acting like you're tired.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, you tired. Then you try to run off of him, and be like, oh, whoa, gotcha. I'm out of here.
Was that was your strategy? That was your move?
I'm lazy. I can't. I'm not gonna chase you all the way down the street, bro. Look at me. Look at me.
Yeah.
I'm just wait for a reason. But I did want to say on that topic of like how things have changed. I remember Sundays hearing the good music. Did your mom ever do the good music Sunday where it's like it's time to clean up and it's
yes.
It could be any. It's usually like soul music or some R&B.
Yes.
Some Deborah.
Mary J. Blige. Ooh. That was my favorite when she put Mary J. Blige on. Okay. I love Mary. Do you?
Mary just reminded me of bad, like not bad time, but back I have a playlist on my phone called The Back of the Yukon. And this is my aunts, all my aunts and my mom's music, basically like Mary J. Blige, what's her name? Keisha Cole, Monica,
Tony Braxton.
Fantasia. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's just like, bro. But like when you listen to it now, it's like, oh man, they were going through it. But like at the time, I was like, man, this beat sounds so good to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, I might as well have cheated on you. And backseat, I'm like, now I'm like, oh man.
What am I singing?
What's her name? Deborah Cox. What's that song she always sings? She always sings the song I listen to. Shoot.
I would know it if I heard it, but I don't know it off the top of my head.
Shoot. But anyways, I wanted to ask you, like, how do you feel about the state? How do you feel about like those days of R&B?
Back in the day?
Yeah, like when you were like a kid. Like, do you feel like? How did you feel about it? Did you listen to it much? Or were you kind of like, Mom, turn that off? I'm not trying to hear that.
Oh, I was listening to it all the time. Yeah, sometimes I was like, most times I appreciated it if it was an artist I liked, like Maxwell. I really liked when my mom would play Music Soul Child. I liked when she would play Erykah Badu. But then there'd be times where I was like, I would love to hear some Destiny's Child right now. Not the OJs. Yeah. So my mom was like a blend of like, yeah, R&B and then sometimes like 70s. Oldies. So but I loved it. I still love it. And I don't think that much has changed in terms of, the theme of R&B back then and now. Mm-mm.
I feel like the theme has changed.
Well, okay, let me say what I think it originally. I originally think R&B was about basically, what did I write? I put
flip the paper over.
Falling in love and lust and heartbreak. Like pretty much those three things.
I don't know. I just feel like old R&B was more love making, and now R&B is just more back breaking. Like that's how I feel about it. Like I feel like I just feel like it's not the same.
An interesting distinction that I will not disagree with.
And I just feel like, and I think, when I think back to like the Genuines and the Key Sweats, like, I'm sorry. Sometimes you gotta just get that. When you feel it, you just gotta get it out.
That metaphor. Now let me. Okay. So
I just feel like even if it was more lust, if it was still lustful, it just sounded good. Like kind of how you talked about last week or last couple weeks. It's about how it sounds. Mm-hmm. The way it sounded made you feel good.
Well, yeah, because
now I feel like it just sounds like
that's because I think a lot of R&B music today is sampling hip hop.
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
some R&B, whereas old R&B really was true R&B melodies and, you know, like rhythms.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like back then it was a bit more original in terms of, the selected melodies and harmonies of the songs.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, R&B stands for rhythm and blues. I need more blues. Like I like traditional blues. I want to hear about, you know,
The blues.
yeah, I want to hear about the struggles of love, you know, like
They do sing about it.
in a different
Men
way.
especially. Trey Songz out there. Chris Brown.
I mean, but at this point they're old, no?
Are they old? Is that what the young people are saying?
I get called a boomer. I'm 26. Chris Brown's older than me for sure.
Let us know in the comments. I don't know if they're old, but
At this point, like, I don't know if you know NBA Youngboy. Of course you know what NBA Youngboy is, right?
roughly.
He got a song where he talking about, I don't know no Jodeci, but you can explicit lyric here.
I don't know how to finish that, but it's okay. I'll look it up. First of all,
He don't even know who Jodeci is, but he knows I'll put the song on and, like, you know, do whatever. But it's like, to people, Jodeci is an era. Like, that's like,
exactly.
but it's like, you know, to some people, it's like,
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, exactly.
It
Think about the whole thing with Ice Spice and J. Cole. Ice Spice got more streams than J. Cole. You didn't know that? Ice Spice had more streams than J. Cole.
I'm not offended by that because I like Ice Spice. It's just
Yeah.
how long J. Cole has been out here.
More streams, yeah. More streams than Ice Spice got more love than J. Cole.
Shout out to Ice Spice, but also, yeah, yeah. That's Gen Z for you.
Yeah.
Gen Z shows the love when they love you, and that's what I love about them.
I would go on a tangent on that, but I'm trying to keep it. I'm gonna try to keep it.
But if they hate you, they're canceling you.
Again, I'm gonna get to that another day.
Okay.
We're gonna get to that another day.
All right,
We'll
we'll
get back
stay
to
on
that.
track.
I'm gonna write it down.
We'll stay
I
on
want
track.
to talk about that. But no, Gen Z definitely shows love in that way. But I'm saying, like, but
R&B.
yeah, like, yeah, I just feel like it don't sound as good. You know, like it. I love new R&B. I wanted to say that because I do love Party Next Door. Sorry guys, I love Tory Lanez. Chicks Take 5.
That's okay. You're welcome to like them. We all have that one problematic artist. I shake my head like I'm judging you, but I've got artists that I also probably are problematic too.
So it's like, you know, I love, you know, even Division. Oh, I love me some Division, boy.
Division's great.
So
His music is good. Oh,
So it's like I like the new generation, but it's like, you know, I do miss like listening to music in front of kids. You know, I can't listen to Tory Lanez, my little brother right there. I can't look at him in his face and sing the song, you know, because he's saying what it is. He knows what it is. But when I was like, there's still songs to this day, like the fact that Genuine Pony, bro.
yeah.
Never dawned on me that it was a dirty song. I'm like, this is a good song. If you want it. Like, and then, like, remember, like, one day singing it, you know, when you kind of in the club and you have, like, an epiphany?
Mm-hmm.
If you want it, let's do it. What? What are you saying? Wait, this is what my mom didn't want to listen to. I was confused. Like, Mom, it's a good song. Why you want me not to listen to it? Like,
Why do you always change the station every time the song comes on?
like, I like Genuine. And is there any more room for me in those jeans? Like, great song.
Right?
But no, it's like when you think about what I learned about it, like, wow.
As a kid in those jeans, I'm literally thinking of two people sharing the same jeans. Nothing
Nothing seductive at all.
At all.
Like, this is a funny song. He's weird for this.
Yeah, but that's cool. It's probably warm there.
Yeah, like, I just feel like nowadays you can't know. I can't put on a Party Next Door song.
Yeah, there are some, like LMI's Boot Up. Okay.
Bottom. Boot up. Diddy-da-dum. Is that pop
Boot Up.
though?
I mean,
Is it
I guess
R&B?
it's debatable.
Is Beyonce considered R&B?
I think Beyonce teeters. Some of her music is R&B. Sometimes it's pop.
Is Summer Walker R&B?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, SZA can also teeter too, but I'd say she's definitely more R&B. More like indie R&B. That's a new, maybe like a new path of R&B. Mm-hmm.
What about
Yeah, Janae Aiko. Oh, that's no, but I'm sure it still sounds lovely. But yeah, she's great too.
I'm talking about she R&B though.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, but for me, okay, this is my list of new R&B artists that I like: Victoria Monet, LMI, Brent Faiyaz. Yeah, just like Bryson Tiller. Shout out.
Bryson Tiller's my favorite.
I love Bryson Tiller.
Don't was destructive.
Sid, it was.
Actually, technically, he's not even R&B. Trap soul.
Well, okay, so there's that too. That's what I mean by like R&B borrows a lot more from hip hop than it does like true R&B. But yeah, there's also Solange. I think Solange is more R&B than Beyonce.
I can feel that.
You
I can
know,
get with that.
Alicia Keys,
He's old though.
old and new. To some people,
She still makes new music.
a lot. I'd be curious to know what Gen Zers who are Alicia Keys fans know her her first album.
Do y'all know about the He Don't Know My Name?
Okay, that was actually her second one. The first one is keys in A minor. This one is and that one hold on, I'm thinking. I'm trying to think of the melody.
She's processing it.
If I Ain't Got You. Is that on her first one? No, that might be on the second one.
I don't know. I don't know where the lines are divvied on that. I just know her. It's not her. That's not her first. Is that her first Grammy?
Songs in A minor. I'm pretty sure she got a Grammy for her first album. Because it was
Find out Alicia Keys got a. Oh, my phone's over there. But
on repeat for me.
Was it?
Yeah, like I love Alicia Keys. I love you, Alicia Keys, and I loved her as a little girl.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I just like her voice, and It's Fallen. That was her first song. Fallen. Remember? But
That was her first song.
I feel like, yeah, I liked Alicia Keys' music. I liked what she sang about everything from how she fell in love to not being seen, but having feelings for old boy. Like, you know, I don't know. She's like the shy, sweet girl who loved to sing, and I resonated with her in that. Yeah.
That's me.
But sassy too. She still had attitude, and you know. So anyway.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like that's not. I don't know.
It's not R&B.
No, it's art. No, definitely R&B. But I just don't feel like that same.
You don't feel that love making sort of inspiration from Alicia Keys.
Yeah, I feel like the.
You
not
haven't
from
listened.
Alicia Keys. No, I'm taking it back. I didn't know. I was talking about like when I think about Alicia Keys, when I think about the Chris Browns, when I think about like the Marios, when I think about even Jeremiah to some extent. Now he kind of went left, but I don't know because Birthday X. No, yeah, never mind. I take it back. He's out of there. He don't count.
Yeah, he's old.
But, like, when I think about these people, like I think about even though like some of their like I feel like there was like a concept. Like I understand that they're like realizing something. Like there's something they're realizing, like something they're coming to terms with, they're trying to grasp. And it like, there's, even though like obviously there's a lot of lust in it because that's just how it happens. But it's like innocence. Mm-hmm. It's like, there's like
a purity to it.
And I feel like the innocence is gone in R&B.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's because it's borrowed from hip hop.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm not saying that like
no. Yeah, we're on this. I didn't mean that as like I guess the tone of that probably didn't match how I meant it.
I'm not saying that. I'm just,
I think because we borrow, because this is where I feel like things
Because people also don't know that R&B artists and rap artists, like hip hop artists, did not get along.
Right. Initially.
Yeah.
Initially. It wasn't until, I want to say, for me, Pretty Ricky came along. Boy bands like Pretty Ricky and even B2K. Although B2K, yeah, Lil Fizz rapped. So where you start to see a blend of R&B and rap music. But I use Pretty Ricky specifically because of how explicit their lyrics were and how, you know, it became 100% about lust. And there were like sprinklings of love, but that's where for me the threshold from neo soul of like love making energy to like backbreaking energy, that's where it started for me.
Yeah.
You know, that explicit stuff or yin yang twins. Anyway.
Our favorite R&B artist.
Wait.
That's crazy. But yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll have to do some more research on that because I never thought about it where the water started to get blended. Mm-hmm. I do remember like Biz Markie, him, you got what I need.
But you say I'm just a friend.
Like that.
Yeah.
Coming from like him was like a big thing. Like, whoa.
Okay.
Like he's like a beatboxer rapper. And then he makes this weird song where he's singing. Like, you remember, like, if you're singing, it's not gangster. And, like, that's, like, I guess for me, like, in my world, that was, like, the first time I'm like,
You can do both?
Yeah, like, because I used to like R&B, and this is, like, also, like, with anime, too, but, like, I used to like it in private. Like, I can't let y'all know I be out here slapping the other Monica. Like, y'all can't know listen to Monica. I be at home listening to Monica with my sister and her friends listening to Monica, but, like, in front of the boys, we not listening to Monica. Nah, like, Chris Brown, he cool. He cool. I listen to a song every once in a while. I ain't really tripping on him. I listen to 50 Cent. Yeah. Get Rich or Die Trying. But then, like, over time, now I can sing to the left. And it wasn't, like, a bad thing. I don't know. R&B has changed, definitely. But I don't know. So I'll leave it on this. Do you miss the old R&B?
No, because I still listen to it, you know?
Do you miss, like, the essence?
No, because like I said, I mean, I still connect with it. And also, I really like new R&B. I like the depth of it. I like, for me, the nuances of what's experienced, and I like the different styles of voices now and the different, like, I actually like the sampling. I like, even though it's not quite as original across the board, I like how, people sample old stuff and make it their own these days. So I can't say like I miss it more than I appreciate right now. I have a profound appreciation for both eras. Mm-hmm. What about you? Do you miss it?
I like toxic music, but at the same time, I will say I do miss the innuendos.
Yeah,
like, innuendos are so good.
Yeah,
just so many, like, they said some things where it's like you listen to like, whoa. But at the same time, you're like, nice.
It does feel like everything could be explicit these days.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't listen. Like, there's some music I listen in the car with my grandma. She's like, it's a good song.
Like WAP. Okay, sorry.
Can't listen to WAP.
Well, you'd be surprised. My sister put on. Never mind. She put on WAP for my bonus mom.
Bro, I had on the Motto, and my grandma thought I lost my mind.
The Motto, that's so pure. Well, I guess once you get to Lil Wayne's verse, it's a little tricky.
She said, "Oh my God, I didn't even know you listen to music like that. Oh my gosh, the devil really got to you." That's what my grandma said. I said, "The Motto, Grandma? Yeah. If only you knew." This Drake, people do not accept Drake like that. Like, he is not a thug. But her eyes, oh, that song was so bad. It was so bad. I had to go in the house and pray. Grandma, relax. YOLO. That's all.
Yeah. My bonus mom's not into music like that either. So it was, kind of like a prank that my sister was trying to play on her for the same kind of reaction. But yeah, it is definitely more explicit these days, but so are people.
As I get older, I like country more.
I'll have to try it out. I can't say I've listen to a lot of country. If you do listen to country, drop some let me know. I want to know your suggestions too. Okay. Yeah.
Luke Combs, Thomas Rhett.
Does Nickelback count? Nickelback?
Country?
Yeah. Is that like more rock? Okay. Yeah. I like Miley Cyrus. She's more pop country. Yeah, see, Dixie Chicks. I like a couple Dixie Chick songs.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess so. I have a lot to learn, so look forward to that.
But
anyway,
yeah, I wanted to talk. So I don't know how long we doing.
Yeah, how we doing? Okay.
So I'm gonna end it on this. I'm gonna go through this kind of quick, but there was an article about a doctor, the oldest practicing doctor. His name is Dr. Howard Tucker, and I think he's 100 years old and he's still practicing medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So like he has the Guinness World Record for like the oldest person and like the longest practicing.
Mm-hmm.
And he did an article where he wrote 5 things he does not do to stay healthy and basically stay like, active like the way he is. And I kind of wanted to talk about the first thing because it's contrary to like what a lot of us want, And he said the thing that he does not do is retire. And I kind of wanted to talk about that with you, especially like in the business you're in. Like a lot of people will do that career until they kaput.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of wanted to like talk through that with you. Like, how do you feel about this notion of like where do you stand on retirement?
Makes me emotional.
I can never leave the kids.
You know what? Okay, so with retirement, I actually can appreciate that perspective as long as like there are some carefully curated breaks that are, implemented in life. I believe in more like short-term retirement. Like I think for one to expect humans to live to 65, for government purposes to retire is kind of wishful thinking, because across the board we don't all make it to that, and on average our lifespan is 72 years old actually, so we wouldn't even get at least 10 years of non-work life to enjoy, right? But to his point, I do think that when you retire there is the risk of like losing mental sharpness, mental agility. There's ways in which you start to lose connection to people and society, and you can, I think, more easily get left behind and disconnected and sick that way.
Yeah.
Because loneliness is actually one of the leading causes for a lot of age-related illnesses. I want to say mental health related illnesses that aging people or seniors experience. A lot of it's related to loneliness.
It makes sense because you see the kid, couple, if one of the couple dies at an old age, the other one goes not too soon after,
because like literal heartbroken syndrome. And yeah, so I could see like how retirement can definitely work, because even my grandparents, they have pretty much the same routine and have had the same routine for almost, they've been retired more than 10 years, probably 15 years now, but I don't know. This is what I think. I do know. This is what I think about retirement. I do. I personally feel, and this is just wishful dreaming, it would be great if people could earn retirement more like after working somewhere, being loyal somewhere for 5 to 10 years. And it's like you can either leave and take this amount of money and invest it in your wellness, your retirement, whatever that looks like for you. That could be traveling Europe for a year. That could be going to buy a house and moving to a new state. That could be starting a family. Like whatever you want to do with this, let's say $50,000 that you earn after, let's say 10 years, maybe half of that, $25,000 for 5 years, let people choose. And if they want, they can either take that money and run, or stay and double it or triple it. I feel like there should be some incentive for being loyal to organizations, and I think that organizations and governments should both be responsible for paying that money out, with our good taxes amongst other things. But between that and then like reconfiguring time off, because if we had also more access to time off that was paid and didn't affect our ability to make groceries, to make bills, then I would think the need for retirement wouldn't be quite as necessary. So if we have like more time off that's paid, and we also allow retirement to not be age based, but it's really merit based. It really is loyalty based. You think so?
I would say, like, you think about the city jobs, the Caltrans, the
Mm-hmm.
the military, or like
Yeah.
like the railroad. 25 years is that standard. Like, after you put 25 years in, you can get out.
But you don't get access. Usually, you don't get access to that retirement money until you turn 65. So my point is that money
want
should
that
be
money
accessible way sooner, because the
At least not
quality
with
of
penalty-
life.
without penalties.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking like, okay, I'm 31 right now. I have put in 6 years to teaching. In 4 years, it would be nice to know that I have enough to buy a house, put a down payment on a house, and I would be willing to commit another 10 years to double that, or even, I don't know, like,
I would
yeah.
Say, I agree, because people use it that way, but it's frowned upon. Because, like, I know people who my mom put out her 401k to put a down payment on her home,
Mm-hmm.
It's penalties, but, if depending how you see it, whatever, that's more important. To have the home is more important than having that little funky money that's in the 401k, honestly. Because you gotta have something to live. So I definitely agree with you saying. Like, I do wish there was a better system to reward you.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like it truly hinders you, but it definitely doesn't reward you for, if I stay at a company for 10 years, on the other side, it's just, well, I mean, not 65, nothing I could do for you. Like, bye. Have a great time. You can have your insurance. I mean, you can have your vacation pay.
Yeah.
Like, you get that little fat check, but it ain't like life-changing check, like, wow, I got $2,000. Wow.
Thanks.
So I definitely, I think personally I wouldn't ever retire, but I do understand that not everybody's going to be doing, not everybody's going to be doing jobs they love. And I feel like those people who understand, that they're doing a job that's a means to an end, I do feel like there should be some kind of higher reward for those people, because, you want to incentivize them, like, it's okay. I know people usually, it'll help with like turnover and like high retention, because, like, imagine instead of working at Caltrans for 25 years, I can work there for 10 years, get out if I want to and do something else. That might be, even though it's like, oh, well, I'll just do 25 years, that might be more enticing to more people, because it's hard to say commit. I'm thinking about it right now. I'm 26. If I go commit to the 25, I'm going to be 51 when I get my retirement, and still have to wait 15 more years to get it. Versus if it's like, they told me like, 10 years and we'll cash you out. So I'll be 36.
Like, imagine how that would flip the, socioeconomic breakdown in America. It could definitely change things up and make just wealth so much more accessible to people.
And I think people would just be more open to different jobs. I think
Exactly.
that's the biggest thing that we're running into right now. People are saying, a lot of people are saying there's a lot of jobs and there's a lot of unemployed people, but it's not unemployed because they can't find a job. It's unemployed because they don't want a job.
Well, and
want specific jobs.
Well, and there's a difference between retiring from a career versus retiring from the workforce.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I think that there comes a time where it's necessary to retire from a career because there's no more you can offer. You know what I mean? Like
so much upward mobility.
And there's so much upward mobility, and perhaps like the time has evolved past you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like time for you to use your knowledge and skills in a new place.
But do you feel like that's true?
Yeah, like I'm gonna teach as long as I can, but I still have there's still other stuff.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Other
you
stuff.
know, like I want to own a bed and breakfast, and I want to spend time doing cool things there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, teaching things there maybe. In the summer times and teaching at college campuses in fall and spring.
I guess I never thought about it like that because I do, you know, like Kobe Bryant after he retired from basketball, he went into like directing, which is such a left for me.
Yeah.
Personally, but he did a good job directing. So it's like, I definitely get what you're saying, like retiring from a career path.
It just opens you up to be able to explore other passions that you never had time for because you were so committed to another career. And that's why I think it's important to have that incentive, because it's unfair to ask a person to commit all of their life to only one passion, especially when those passions change across time.
Well, yeah, I mean,
talents.
I think we change every 7 years or something like that.
I don't know.
Taste and things like that. I think they said like every 7 years our taste and stuff like that change. Like, Cola, but next 7 years, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
Or you know, I mean, we can attest to that to some degree, not literally, but like I still like eggs with ketchup on them, but like, you know, like when I was younger, there's certain things I like more than now. When I'm older, I'm like, you know what, my dad might be on the golf. Never understood why I didn't like it before, but.
He might know something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Retirement's a tricky thing because I guess for me as I always think like I always think like a businessman. So I feel like I would never retire from a business. Like for me to, but I guess the thing about business is that there's so many different versions of business. Like
exactly, and that's
like you said, a bread and breakfast. Or I could be like, you know what, maybe I want to do a chain of hotels, or you know what. I'm gonna open up a micro dosing shroom business. Like,
you know, well, that's what I mean by I think it's like the current conditions make it unfair because it causes you to commit to one thing. But I feel like people are multi-talented, multi-passionate, and we stifle that. That's probably why we don't have a lot of originality. We stifle people into like one path. Even if you look at like celebrities who try to veer out into any new path are like, what are you doing? It takes adjusting. You know what I mean? Now
stop trying to rap.
Now you want to rap?
Give it up.
Drake. But hello.
Yeah.
Drake is super talented in both of those things. Both of those things. Amongst other things, I'm sure. Seems like sports seems to be an area of passion for him too. Sports, business, sports. Property.
You see that with J. Cole, you know, basketball.
Because he used to play.
Yeah, he literally stopped rapping to like go to a basketball league. Like,
yeah.
I mean, but
that's what I mean by like you can. So like J. Cole retired from his basketball career, started a new rap career. Like that's why I don't think it's age related. I think it's like once your time is up and you no longer have the skill, the talent, or the passion for the career, it's time to retire and move on to something else that's going to be more fulfilling.
I will say that I think the reason they use age is because it's an easier like metric.
Yeah, I get it. But this is me just dreaming out loud. Yeah.
Because for me, like, you know, you always hear about, oh, you want to retire at 40? But like, I mean, it's possible. It depends on how I live my life. Know. But yeah, you never. I don't know. As
an entrepreneur. Yeah.
There's always money to be made.
That's fair.
And I always want to make. I love making money in unconventional ways.
Well, you know, for me, I also have like a family that I want to raise. You know, I've got kids I want to be able to be a mother to one day.
I don't have that stuff yet, so
I don't have it yet either.
My little baby brain.
I don't have it yet either, but it's like it's more in the forefront of my mind than, you know, I would say it was in my earlier in mid-20s. So there's also like the desire to just want to be able to, you know, be a parent and not have to worry about well, I will still want to work, but I don't know.
I feel that
You
because,
get what I'm
like, you know,
saying?
like my uncle used to be an NFL player, and then after his career ended, he became a social worker, which blew my mind. But
Yeah.
it allows him the flexibility to be like there for his kids 24/7.
You see?
Yeah.
I want to work, work and love what I do and love having a family. I don't want to work to have my family, you know? So yeah, I don't know. I believe in retirement. I believe in creating new ways of looking at it. So we don't have to wait until 65, but
It's such a double-edged sword, though.
Yeah.
I think about that all the time, like, man, I think I joke around myself, like, if I had a kid right now, would I make it work? It's like that. It's a double-edged sword because, like, I'll be younger,
Yeah.
do so much more,
Yeah.
get in the nitty-gritty with them. But as an older parent, I have more opportunity for them. I have more wisdom to give them.
Perhaps more stability.
As I said, so it's like that's why I always get nervous because, like, I'm gonna be real. My dream already sailed. I wanted to be a young parent so bad.
Really?
I wanted to be a 22-year-old parent for sure. Like I remember, I was like that true Christian boy. Like I want to get married ASAP and then start popping out a baby. Why? I don't know. But like I remember being like passionate. Like yeah, I want to see my great grandkids, and I know the only way to do that
Is if I start now.
yeah, pop them out early, and like, but like, now I'm like 26. I'm like, dang, it's getting further and further away, and that's why when I think about retirement, I'm like, how does a career fit into like family? Like, do I retire for a family and then go back when they grow up? I see a lot of people do that. They'll not fully retire, but like they'll like go hard, have a kid, and then they lay back. And then when the kid turns 18, it's about, all right, how can what do I do now that they're like self-sustaining?
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm an empty nester now. What do we do? Do we go on vacation or do I go back going hard? Like I know a couple of people whose like mom, after they graduated, went back to go get their master's and their PhD. And it's like,
because people lose themselves in parenting sometimes, just and kind of to that point of like, just getting lost in all the stuff instead of, I guess, being able to stay grounded in the bigger picture. I don't know. I'm not a parent. This could sound very,
go for it. Let's hear it.
very unclear.
Just go for it. Let me hear it.
Well, I felt strong, but I don't know. I feel like I also lost a thought. Hold on, let me. Parents, what were we talking about?
We were talking about how like you were about to connect how parents get lost in like we were talking about the curse of knowledge earlier. You said parents kind of lose themselves in raising a kid.
Parent or child rearing. And so I feel like sometimes they forget like themselves in that. They forget to nurture their passions. And again, they start to work for the family as opposed to working and having a family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you're working and having a family should also include you maintaining yourself, maintaining your own passions and your own skills and talents. And for some people, we have skills and talents that are made to be enjoyed for a lifetime, but others have multiple skills and talents to be used across their lifetime. And I think it would only be fair for society to be shaped in such a way that allowed people to vacillate. If you have multiple talents and skills, you can retire and move on to something else. If you don't, you can stay committed. If you never figure it out, maybe you don't have passions, talents, or skills, but you just have a desire to work and be loyal. Like that should matter too.
I feel like we need more farms.
Yeah.
And I say that not literal, but like my grandma was raised on a farm, and like most people don't realize the farm is a business, but it's like the kids were also involved in the business. And I feel like I think that's also like changed. Like when I was younger, I just thinking about this now. Like even though my mom was a nurse, I was at work with my mom, or I was at work with my grandma. Like I remember being at these locations as a kid. Like I have, I'm it's vacation. Even if I'm off of work, I'm getting dropped off there, and like I'm there, and like now I feel like, I can't go to my little brother can't go to my mom's job right now. It's not at all. Like I don't think you could bring kids with you to the. I mean, probably you could, but like
I think you could.
like bring your little kid. Like go sit in the back. I'm gonna teach this communication real quick. Actually, I'm gonna have my daughter come teach you guys this class right now.
Honestly, that's probably how I'll roll.
Yeah, and I'm like, I feel like we need more of that. I feel like that when I think about like people now, like you said, I feel like there's so much compartmentalized. Like people are compartmentalizing everything. Like there's a space, and I'm bad at this too. But like, there's a space for this. There's a space for that. There's a space for this. There's a space for that. And I feel like it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's why I think about like when I think about business, like my family, like my grandpa, my whole family worked there. Like it was a family restaurant, but like we all worked there. So it's like, even though it was like work and like for him it's like, oh, why don't you retire? But it's like never really thinking about like, bro, like we're already here. Like he's gonna retire and do what? Not be with us? But we're gonna be here. So interesting. I never thought about it that perspective.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be different per person, There needs to just be more space for that.
Oh, no. I think that everybody, like I said, everybody has their own flavor.
Yeah.
You like Neapolitan for a reason. Like, people have their own flavors.
Not for whatever reason.
Listen, Neapolitan's good until you get to the strawberry. Then it's like, get out of here.
It's particularly good as an ice cream sandwich. Yeah, that's the only time I'm really enjoying a Neapolitan.
I think I'm traumatized from the bucket.
I was always so happy to see it. But when it all melts together, it isn't good.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't
Like,
love it.
It starts melting together. It's like now I got strawberry in my chalk.
Yeah, you got to eat it while it's cold.
I just want the side. Scoop both of them out.
You got to scoop them per flavor. You finish the vanilla, then you get to the chocolate, and you finish up with the
That's how
strawberry.
we used to do it. But somebody told me, no, you put the cross.
Well,
And that's wild to me.
pass.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want all of it in one scoop.
But I guess it's like a chocolate covered strawberry. But anyway.
But yeah, guys. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Do we feel like? No. Yeah. I feel like we're there.
We're there.
I feel like this. We sent the ship. We cracked it with the champagne bottle, and it's on its way. Listen, guys. I want to say once again, I appreciate everybody who's watching these. Sorry if we went a little rambly, but it's okay.
Yeah, drop in the comments if there's anything you want us to talk about, by the way.
Yeah. Cause wait. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if they go something else.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But yeah, drop any ideas you guys want us to talk about in the comments, or just message us, or even better, if you know anybody you want us to talk to and come and be a part of this, put that in here too. You know, something important about this podcast is connecting with different minds. I feel like
different friends.
Yeah, exactly. Special friends.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to like see different perspectives. I feel like that's important to like, oh, you know what? I literally never thought of that.
Right? Yeah.
Like, wow, I've never been in a situation. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Do me a favor as well. I'm asking for a lot of favors, but if you made it this far and you're listening to the video version, can you do me a favor and give me 5 stars on Apple Podcasts? Help the audio version also go up. You know, support that as well. You know, we need it on both sides. Follow us at WUZI_LOCJR on Instagram, Wuzi Loke Jr.
And at Hey Professor B on IG.
On Instagram.
Yeah.
Follow us, show love. You know, really appreciate you guys. You know, I really don't take you guys for granted. I love the comments. I love the interaction. That's the whole point of this stuff. Is like, I want to see what you guys say.
Yeah.
Because we're crazy.
Yeah.
I'm crazy. I don't know about
Well,
Professor B.
no.
I'm crazy. But yeah. Appreciate you guys.
I'm a little crazy sometimes. Appreciate y'all.
And
That it?
we're out of here.
Yeah. See you next episode.
Peace.